Hello everyone, today we will study BJT in unbiased condition. So unbiased means there will be no external energy. So we will not give any external energy to this transistor and we will see what will be here, what of the involvement of the charge carrier over there in case of no external voltage. So as I told you in the last class, there are two type of transistor, NPN and PNP. But in case of these two type transistor, we will always prefer NPN transistor over PNP transistor because of the mobility of the majority charge carrier. In case of NPN transistor, the majority charge carriers are electron and the mobility of electron is higher than the mobility of holes. That is why we will be preferring NPN transistor over PNP transistor. So, in case of NPN transistor, P type is sandwiched in between two N type semiconductor material. I told you according to the physical aspect of NPN transistor, the emitter is highly doped, collector is moderately doped and this base is least doped. Not only that, according to size, the collector is size of the collector is highest, then the moderate size is the emitter and the least size is called base, and we keep this one purposely. We will see why we should consider the least doped and the least size in case of base in later classes, but it is the physical aspect of NPN transistor. Now, in case of unbiased condition, that means there will be no external voltage, we will see the activity or the involvement of the charge carrier. I told you in case of PN junction diode, when the P and N type will be there, that means obviously there should be a structural continuity, because in case of PN junction, if there is no structural continuity in between P type semiconductor and N type semiconductor, then we cannot see the output and we cannot see all the phenomenon of this PN junction diode. In the same way, in case of NPN transistor also, there should be a structural continuity. So, when this N type and when this P type will be sandwiched in between two N type region, there will be two junction will be formed. One of the junction is called emitter based junction and another one is called collector based junction. Now, in the junction, diffusion will take place. Now, what is diffusion? I told you that diffusion means when the charge carrier will move from higher concentration to lower concentration because of the concentration gradient. That means if throughout the structure the concentration of the charge carrier is not same, then the charge carrier will move to make that equal. So, in case of emitter, you can see the concentration is higher rather than the concentration of electron at the collector and base. So, this electron will move from emitter to base to maintain the concentration equal, and in the same way the electron will move from collector to base to make the concentration equal. That means this electron will move or will diffuse from emitter to base as well as the collector to base. In the same way, the concentration of holes will be higher in case of base region. So, these holes will also diffuse from base to emitter and the collector region. Now, this charge carrier will diffuse from higher concentration to lower concentration, and for this purpose, for this reason, one main thing will occur, that is called recombination. So, when this electron will move, will diffuse from this emitter to base, the recombination will take place, and when this recombination will take place at the junction, there will be no free charge carrier. These charge carrier are not free, they are static charge carrier. In the same way, when this electron will move from collector to base and this hole will move from base to collector, at the junction there will be no free charge carrier because of recombination process, and for that reason there will be static charge, and this static charge creates a barrier in between base and emitter, in between base and collector. So, because of this barrier, this electron cannot go from this emitter to base as well as collector to base, and holes also cannot move from base to emitter and base to collector because of the diffusion. So, the electron cannot, when the electron cannot move, how the current can be calculated. So, that is why in case of no external condition or no external voltage or unbiased condition, we will not get any current because of the depletion region or space charge region. Because of this depletion region, the free charge carrier cannot move from emitter to base as well as from collector to base, and for holes from base to emitter and from base to collector region. So, in the next class we will see if you give the external voltage, then how the charge carrier will move and what are those external charge carrier. Depending on that, we will get the current from this NPN or PNP transistor. Thank you.